Hi, welcome to the Lakeland History and Culture Center. I'm Luann Mims. I'm going to be your tour guide today. We're going to take a little look at our new exhibit, Ties That Bind, 1880 to 1925, that looks at the origins of Lakeland and specifically about how important the railroad was to our progress and development. So My First Trip to Florida by Norman Riggins tells about his family coming to Central Florida for the first time in 1882, before the train came. Along the way, he journaled who he saw, events he saw, and interesting things. One of the things he noted was how people got cold water. It tasted a lot better, of course, but there was no ice during this period of time. And the method he describes in this journal may have led to an idea that he had later on about developing an ice house. This is one of my favorite sections of the exhibit, that we learn more about places and pioneers. So if we touch on the touchscreen, we can go and find out more about the Riggins family. Man came with his wife and his brother-in-law from Dexter, Missouri. They loaded up their entire dry goods store into a boxcar and shipped it down to Lakeland, where he had purchased 40 acres along the shores of Lake Morton. Here he was going to plant an orange grove, and he also planted some really big oak trees. After his death, his son Norman came down to take over his father's business. Norman becomes a very big leader in our community, a business owner, an entrepreneur. And we're going to find out a little bit more about him in a bit, but he's the one that built the big, beautiful house we call Mosswood that is still on Lake Morton today. There's also a street that bears the Riggins name in that area as well. So this section is a business directory that coincides with the 1880 to 1925 timeline. We've noted a lot of different businesses, but what we want to take a look at is the Riggins and Wagner store that family came and started here. So two-story wooden structure on the corner of Tennessee Avenue and Main Street, right in the downtown area. Now that ground floor, you could come in and you could buy a broom, you could buy an oil can, linens, anything and everything you would be able to purchase in that store. Now the upper floor was often used as a community meeting space. Norman Riggins was very attuned to the community needs, and before we had an auditorium, this served a spot for everybody to come and meet. And as business improved, they were able to change the facade from wood to brick. In this display, we find out more about the railroad, who built it, how it was built, how it was used, and of course, how it expanded into the community. And one of the things that it brought was other services affiliated with the railroad, which included ice houses. So the railroad allowed our commodities to be shipped to further away places, but fruits and vegetables were perishable. And in the days before refrigerated boxcars, we needed to have ice to help make those fruits and vegetables look better upon arrival. So the creation of an ice house in close proximity to the depot was really needed. And Norman Riggins was part owner in Lakeland's very first ice house, which was located near today's Munn Park. So that was just one story out of many stories that we're hoping to tell here at the Lakeland History and Culture Center. I'd invite you down to come and take a look for yourself, discover more about Lakeland's past.